Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today we are going to start with class 7th NCERT chapter number 4. Now, in previous videos we have completed the class 6th NCERT and the chapters related to history. Now in class 7th NCERT, the most important thing that we need to understand that this chapter number 4, which is related to the new beginnings, cities and state, this is something which starts after Vedic period. Yes, Vedic period in the sense, in previous videos we have discussed in class 6 NCERT till Vedic period, and we have also discussed the Buddhism and Jainism, which means we have discussed the cultural thing clear in class 6 NCERT. Now in this we are going to start with the developments from 6th century BC. 6th century BC. 6th century BC, why it is considered as important here? The reason here is that in 6th century BC, now we are going to see the important kingdoms. Now the question here is, we need to know that how kingdoms got emerged in ancient times, how state was evolved. Clear? Like states were called as janpads. Now how janpads were evolved in Rig Vedic period or early Vedic period, as we have discussed in previous videos, that there were tribal clans. How those tribal clans converted into important kingdoms or janpad region. How Jana became janpad. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss the evolution of cities and states. Clear? So the theme of this chapter, that is chapter number 4 in class 7th NCERT, is new beginnings, that is cities and state. Okay. So first of all, we can see some important questions which are actually present in your NCERT on the first page itself, first page of this chapter. What is meant by second urbanization? What is urbanization exactly? Second, why there were the Janpadas and Mahajanpadas, an important development in India's early history, why these things are important? Then what kind of system of governance did they evolve? That means this question is something which is related to the political life. It is something which is related to political life in ancient India. Okay, so let's begin with this video, this topic. Okay, so now we are going to discuss some important things. First of all, as you can see here on your screen itself, you know, this paragraph, okay, this paragraph, that is on the next page of your class 4th chapter number 4th of class 7th NCERT. So as you can see here, let us recall that in early second millennium BC, few centuries after 2000 BC, the Indus Harappan civilization, which we also called as first urbanization, got disintegrated, and then again ruralization came, and again in 6th century BC, the age of second age of Mahajanpadas or age of second urbanization took place. So this paragraph is something which is related to the context. Here the context is transition from first urbanization. Transition from first urbanization. How transition took place after first urbanization, or you can call it as Indus Valley civilization. Chalo, let's recall first urbanization. This first urbanization is also called as Indus or Harappan civilization or Sindhu Saraswati civilization. Fine? Okay. And this urbanization, this Indus Valley civilization was, you can say, disintegrated around 1900 to 1500 BC, or you can also call it as second millennium BC. Okay. Now, so when this urbanization got disintegrated, so there was loss of urban components. There was loss of urban components. Now, when we say loss of urban components, that is all the components of Harappan urban order had disappeared. So there was loss of urban component, like elaborate structures got disappeared, private and public, both private as well as public structures got disappeared. Writing system of Harappan civilization also got disappeared. Sanitation, administration, everything got disappeared, after the decline of IBC. Okay, that means urban life remained absent for nearly a millennium. Okay, then comes second urbanization. Now let's talk about the second urbanization. Okay, so after the decline of first urbanization, or you can also call it as Indus Valley civilization, second urbanization period, this second urbanization, okay, which is from first millennium BC onwards, or you can also call it as from around 600 BC onwards. Fine. Okay. Now, this was the vibrant new phase of urbanization, which was started in Ganga region and also parts of Indus region. Okay, parts of Sindhu region or neighboring regions. Clear? And gradually it got spread to entire Indian subcontinent. Yes, gradually it got spread to entire Indian subcontinent. Fine. And it is still continues to present day. To present day. Fine. Now, first important thing that we need to understand, what are the main evidences of second urbanization? Okay. Now try to understand this. Now, as you can see here, so what are the evidences for second urbanization? Evidences for second urbanization. So what are the evidences? There are mainly two evidences. First is archaeological excavation or archaeological evidence. Clear? So these archaeological evidences have confirmed the existence of ancient urban centers. Clear? That means this archaeological evidences tells us that there are material remains of early fortifications. It says that there are material remains of early fortifications. Okay, early fortifications. Clear? There are material remains of, okay, there are mat- now there are material remains of other things also, like structures as well as artifacts. Fine. Okay. Now, another important source which confirmed that second urbanization was there or urban centers used to be there, that is ancient literature. So second source is ancient literature. When we say ancient literature, it includes later Vedic texts like Yajurveda, Samaveda, clear? Then Atharveda, then Upanishads, clear? Brahmanas, all these texts. There are various later Vedic texts which mentions about the second urbanization. Then apart from this, Buddhist and Jain literatures also. Why Buddhist and Jain literatures? Because Buddhism and Jainism was also originated around 6th century BC. At the same time, urbanization also came. So these texts also mentions about the early urban centers. Clear? Then this is also something which is related. So there are various references of new urban centers also. There are various references to these new urban centers. Fine. Okay. Now let's begin with this Janpad and Mahajanpad. As you can see here. Okay. So now we'll talk about Janpads and Mahajanpads. First of all, Janpads. So, what do you understand by this term Janpad? Clear? So, Janpad started emerging around 1000 BC. When? Around 1000 BC, or you can say towards the end of second millennium BC. Clear? So at that time, regional cultures gradually. So remember this thing. By 1500 BC, Indus Valley civilization was completely declined. Then 1500 to 1000 BC, there was rural culture. There was rural culture. At the same time, we have discussed advent of Aryans also. Fine, advent of Aryans. So around 1000 BC, again urbanization started coming. Clear? So these regional cultures reorganized, developed into the urban cultures, and this regional culture gradually reorganized in North India. Fine. Okay. So first of all, we need to discuss what do you understand by this term Janpad. You know? So what is Janpad? Janpad means, as you can see here, so what is the meaning of Janpad? So Janpad is actually a Sanskrit term. Remember this. It is a Sanskrit term. What does it mean? Janpad means, Jana means people, where the people, where the people or Jana, as you can see here, where the people or Jana have set food called as Pad. That is called as Janpad. So Janpad is a Sanskrit word, which means when those tribals, Janas, they settled into a state or into cities, then it came to be called as Janpad. Clear? So when Janpads are formed in this way, regional cultures, as you can see here, in this way, regional cultures gradually reorganize themselves into the North India. Now, people actually formed clans, as you can see here, people formed clans or groups. Clear? They started forming the region also, territory also. So people, they formed clans or groups on the basis of common language, on the basis of common customs. Clear? Which is associated with specific territory, as you can see here, associated with specific territory or Janpad. Clear? And this Janpad was led by Raja or ruler. That means in Rig Vedic period we have discussed that the clans were ruled by, tribals were ruled by the chief, but now the territory was ruled by Raja or a ruler. Clear? Okay. Now what are the growth factors of Janpads? So let's try to understand. Now, as you can see here, this paragraph is related to the growth factors. Is related to growth factors. Okay, now what are the growth factors which resulted into the Janpad? So first of all, the trade network, expansion of trade networks. First reason is expansion of trade network, which actually connecting different Janpads. Clear? Second, agricultural development took place in Ganga plains. So, so first is trade network expanded. Second reason, agriculture development. So agricultural development where? Especially in Ganga plains. Fine. Then third important reason, availability of iron ore. Third, availability of iron ore on mountains or hills. Clear? And then formation of new trade routes. Formation of new trade routes. Fine. These are the reasons for the growth of Janpat. Fine. Next, we need to understand what do you understand by this term called as Mahajanpad. So let's try to understand Mahajanpad and keep writing all these reasons that how Janpad resulted or how growth of Janpad took place. Clear? So now we'll talk about the Mahajanpads. So Janpads were established around 1000 BC and gradually some of the Janpads turned into Mahajanpad. Okay, now Mahajanpad. So what do you understand by Mahajanpads? Mahajanpad. So this Mahajanpad means larger political units. Yes, larger political units. These units were formed when Janpads merged. When different Janpads came together and merged together. So in this way, they formed one big city. Maha means big, Janpad means city. So it resulted into the formation of big cities. Clear? Now, what are the key facts? So total, how many Mahajanpads were there in 6th century BC? Total 16 Mahajanpads in 6th century BC. Clear? And these Mahajanpads are mentioned in various texts. है ना? Gradually extending from Gandhara. Gandhara is in northwest to Anga. Anga present day Bengal area in the east, to Asmaka in the central India, which is also a gateway towards the South India and close to the Godavari river. Clear? And some Janpadas, they continuing act, some smaller Janpadas continuing independently. Clear? So they continued their political life independently. Clear? So major Mahajanpadas were there at that time. So let's talk about the major Mahajanpads. Okay. So there are major Mahajanpads of that period. Major Mahajanpad like Magad, 16 Mahajanpad. If you see, as you can see here in the map. So I'll just show you the map. Okay. So as you can see here, total 16 Mahajanpad. Anga, Asmaka, Avanti, Chedi, clear? Magad. Then as you can see here, Vajji, Malla Mahajanpad, Koshila, Vatsa, Surasena, Panchal, Matsya, then Kuru, then Gandhara and Kamboj. These are some important Mahajanpads. Clear? So there were total how many Mahajanpads? 16 Mahajanpad mentioned in various Buddhist and Jain texts. Fine? Okay. Now, first thing that we need to understand that most of these Mahajanpads are concentrated in Ganga region. Yes. So remember this, most of the Mahajanpads, they are concentrated in Ganga plains. Why Ganga plains? Because Ganga river gives fertile soil. Clear? Second, agricultural surplus. So most of these Mahajanpads are concentrated in Ganga plains. Now, first, fertile Ganga plain are crucial for growth. Second important thing, agricultural surplus. Agricultural surplus support for cities. Food security came into the picture because of agricultural surplus. Then third, iron ore, and fourth, strategic location of trade networks. Trade networks got created. Fine. Okay. Now we'll see the system of governance. Okay. So as you can see here, early democratic tradition. So this is something related to system of governance. Okay. Now each Janpad had an assembly or council which is called as Sabha or Samiti. Here, where the matters related to the particular clan used to be discussed. Fine. Okay. So when Mahajanpad came into the picture, now try to understand when Mahajanpads came into the picture. So first important thing that you will see that monarchy system was established. Okay. So this is first important thing, that monarchical system, the most common political system, monarchical system got established. Now when we say monarchical system, what was the structure? Structure was Raja. Clear, Raja was the ultimate authority, or king was the ultimate authority. Now, king was supported by ministers, and king used to head the administrators also, ministers as well as assembly of elders. Okay, so king was supported by the ministers as well as administrators. Clear? And then king used to head the assembly also. So assembly used to consist what? Council of elders. So as you can see here, assembly of, it is written here, assembly so of elders. Clear? So as you can see on your screen, the king was supported by council or assembly, which is called as assembly of elders. Now, for the very first time, this assembly of elders, this assembly of elders, first time it was appeared in Vedic text. Yes, it was appeared in Vedic text. Clear? They used to advise Raja on the matters of state. They used to advise the king on the matters of state. And this assembly was mainly composed by elder people. Elder means experienced people, elder people. Clear? Okay. Now the question here is, what were the powers of Raja, powers of king now in Mahajanpad? Okay. Now we'll see the powers of king. So now we need to understand the powers of king. Okay. Now, as you can see here, this is related to the powers of king. Now, king used to collect the taxes or revenue. As you can see, king used to maintain the law and order. King used to build fortifications around their capital so that king can be his kingdom can be protected from the enemy kingdom. Clear? And king used to maintain the army to defend its territory or wage war. Clear? And king also used to take the administrative decisions. So king used to take administrative decisions, which means when monarchical system was established in 6th century BC, at that time the powers of king was also increased. Clear? Now, what was the law of succession here? So monarchy is actually hereditary in nature. So this position was hereditary in nature, in the sense his position was hereditary in nature, in the sense after this king his son will become the king. Clear? Now succession was not automatically guaranteed. Remember this, succession was not automatically guaranteed. Clear? Like incompetent if incompetent ruler is there, or if incompetent king is there, so incompetent king could be removed by the assembly of elder people. Remember this thing, incompetent ruler could be removed by the assembly of elder people. Clear? Now what were the key Mahajanpads of this time period? So key Mahajanpads were Magad, important, located in present day Bihar; Koshla Mahajanpad, present day UP; Avanti Mahajanpad, present day MP area. So these were the important Mahajanpad. Clear? Okay. So this was one system, monarchical system. Second form of political system which was established, second form. है ना? So now we'll discuss about the second form of monarchical system, that is republican or democratic system. Second form was republican or democratic system. Now, what is the difference between monarchy and republic? बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ये कहते हैं सर रिपब्लिक मींस डेमोक्रेसी. नो, दैट इज रॉन्ग. Republic means where the king, where the head of state is elected. Yes, in monarchy, king is not elected. Hereditary position is there. But in republic, the king or or you can say head of state like prime minister or president, king or president or prime minister, they are elected. Clear? That is called as republic. So present day India is a republican country because our head of state, president of India, is elected. Clear? So remember this thing. So there were various republican kingdoms like Vajji or Vriji. Then Malla was also the republican kingdom. Clear? Okay. What was their political characteristics? So what are the characteristics of these Mahajanpads? Okay. Now we'll discuss. So what are the characteristics of these Mahajanpads? So there are various characteristics like first, Sabha and Samiti had more power. In Republican Kingdom, Sabha and Samiti. Sabha is like House of Elders, है ना? Assembly of Elders. Samiti, like it is the another assembly. Okay. Now Sabha and Samiti, they had more power. Important decisions in republican kingdoms are taken by discussions, but in monarchy taken by the king. This is the difference. So important decisions in republican kingdoms were discussed. Clear? Voting used to be there. Then Raja was elected by the assembly. Raja was selected in republican kingdoms. Clear? And the members of Sabha, they were the primary decision makers. Clear? Members of Sabha, they are primary decision makers. Fine. So this functioning can be considered as democratic in nature. This kind of functioning can be considered as democratic in nature. Clear? Now, what are the significance? So, what is the significance of these things? Significance is they can be considered as early republics. As you can see here, it is written here itself. Okay. Now, as you can see, the significance is these Malla Mahajanpad, Vajji Mahajanpad, they can be considered as early republics. Clear? And they can be considered as amongst the earliest republican systems in the world also. Clear? As you can see on your screen. Clear? So this actually demonstrates the political diversity of ancient India. So this demonstrates the political diversity of ancient India. Fine. Okay. Now we'll talk about other important things. Okay. Now more innovations. Yes, more innovations. Now what are the more innovations in this period? So we need to understand this thing also, more innovations. So okay. So now we'll talk about the more innovations. Fine. Okay. So first innovation in this period, that is in 6th century BC, or you can say the age of Mahajanpadas or age of second urbanization. Clear? More innovations during Mahajanpad or second urbanization. So what are the more innovations? First important innovation is iron metallurgy. Yes. First is iron metallurgy. So now we'll talk about the iron metallurgy. Now, iron metallurgy kaise? Clear? Like this is the advanced thing in this period. Advanced thing in the sense like various techniques of extracting or shaping iron was perfected from early second millennium BC. Clear? So in this various techniques of extracting or shaping iron, clear, these were created from 1000 BC. Clear? Why 1000 BC? Because in 1000 BC there was discovery of iron. Clear? So metallurgy will, along with the discovery of iron, metallurgy will also come into the picture. And this, with this iron metallurgy, they have created iron tools. Because of this, they have created iron tools, and iron tools resulted into the birth of agricultural economy. Fine. So it resulted into the birth of agricultural economy. Fine. Okay. Now, like Indians already knew about various metals, gold, silver, copper. Indians invented bronze also. Clear, because bronze was used in Harappan civilization. As you can see here, metallurgy knowledge was already there, as you can see here in the second paragraph of this topic. So bronze metallurgy was already there in Harappan civilization. Clear, and this was used in IVC period. So because of this bronze, better quality weapons were also created. Better quality weapons also created. Weapons were lighter as well as sharper than sword, spear, arrows. All these things were also created. Now, how was the impact on urbanization? Now, what was the impact of all these things on urbanization? Now, the next question that we need to understand here. So, what was the impact? Impact on urbanization. Now, how it impacted urbanization? First, it resulted into the large scale of agriculture, as you can see here, facilitating agricultural expansion. Clear? Or on a bigger scale. Clear? Then it also, if agriculture was expanded, so it resulted into the, or it supported the growing population also. It supported the growing population. Then it also facilitated the military campaigns. As you can see, iron also made better weapons than bronze. Clear? So it resulted into the better military or military campaign. It facilitated military campaigns. Clear? And there are various evidences of warfare between different kingdoms. Fine? Okay. Now, apart from this, as you can see here, the last paragraph of this, another innovation of first use of coins in India. Yes, in 6th century BC, the evidence of coins came into the picture. Yes, evidence of coins, which actually represents the beginning of money economy. Before that, barter system was there. So it gives us the evidence of money economy. Clear? Now, what kind of coins were there? So these coins were called as punch marked coins, as you can see here. Okay. So these early coins which were used in 6th century BC, they are called as punch mark coin. What is punch mark coins? A metal was flattened, and the symbols are punched on that metal, that is called as punch marked coins. Clear? Now, how coins helped in terms of economy? So let's try to understand. If medium of exchange is there, then it resulted into the you can say it made easier for the kingdoms with respect to growing trade and commerce. Clear? So coins actually helped in terms of trade and commerce. Clear? And it also facilitated exchange across the regions. It facilitated exchange across regions. Fine. Okay. So in India, the first coins were punch marked coins. These coins were made from which metal? Mostly silver coins. Mostly silver coins. Clear? Remember this. And they are called as punch marked coins. Later you will see. Now later. Okay. So later you will see that various other metals coins will also be there, like gold coins will also be there, copper coins will also be there, and other. Fine. Okay. Now, next important thing is Varna Jati system. So, as you can see here, now we'll discuss about the Varna Jati system. Now, what is Varna? What is Jati? Varna is based on birth. Jati is caste. Caste is based on profession. First thing that we need to understand, Varna is based on birth, Jati or caste based on profession. है ना? Like Varna, your Varna can be a Brahmin, but your profession, you are a shopkeeper. Clear? So that will become your caste. Clear? Fine. So first of all, we need to understand why there was a need for social organization. Clear? Why the socially organized things came into the picture. This much is clear to all of you. So we saw earlier also that how human societies grew more complex with the rise of civilization. So complexity came. Clear? So try to understand there was need for social organization now. Need for social organization. Now why there was need for social organization? Why there was need for social organization? First, complexity of civilization requires specialization. Requires specialization. Fine. It requires specialization. So division was based on various things. Clear? Division किन किन चीजों पे हुआ? Try to understand. So division was based on class, occupation, and professional expertise. As you can see here, division was based on class, occupation, some other criteria. You can say professional expertise. Fine. So it actually enables efficient functioning of complex society. Clear? Okay. Now this line, as you can see here, now what were the necessary occupations? So we'll try to understand this also. So what are the necessary occupations? Okay. So what are the necessary occupations? So as you can see here, the governance and administration. Next is religion rituals. Education was important. Trade and commerce, town planning, and architecture was also there. Fine. Then apart from this, farming, crafts, arts, metals and metallurgy was also there, and various other specialized professions were there. Clear? Now, so now as you can see here, this is something related to the jati and society. Fine. Okay. So there are twofold systems. There were now there were twofold systems. This is related to this paragraph, twofold systems, that is jati. Jati is something related to the professional occupation. It is related to professional occupation, and occupation is related to livelihood. So it is closely connected with livelihood. It is closely connected with livelihood, as you can see. Fine. Second important thing. So there are various key characteristics of jati, as you can see here. For instance, skill in agriculture, metallurgy, commerce, any craft, which actually you can say transferred. Like you have the knowledge of metallurgy, you have transferred your knowledge of metallurgy to your son. Your son had transferred that knowledge to his son. Clear? In this way, the knowledge of particular profession is transferred from generation to generation. So it will become what? It will become jati. It will become caste. Clear? So there are various skills which are defined as per jati, like agriculture, metallurgy, crafts, all these things. Clear? And this transmission from generation to generation, basically hereditary in nature. This is basically hereditary in nature. Fine. Now, how this jati developed into customs? Now we'll try to understand. Now, this caste or jati would get further subdivided into various subcaste or subjatis, which developed customs and tradition of their own. For example, relate customs related to their marriage, related to their rituals or food habits, or their social practices also. Social practices. Clear? Now, whether is there any flexibility in early period? In early period, there were some flexibility. Gradually, jati system or caste system became rigid. Clear? Another important social category. So, first one was jati, second is varna. This is the second fold of social division, that is varna. Now, varna as a concept emerged from where? Emerged from Vedic text. Clear? So total how many varnas are there? Total four varnas: Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Brahmins, who are engaged in preserving and spreading the knowledge. Clear? They also they used to perform the rituals. Kshatriyas were expected to defend the territory or kingdom or the land. Clear? They are engaged in warfare activities. Then comes Vaishyas. Vaishyas role was to increase the wealth through occupation of trade and commerce business. So their main role was to increase the wealth in the kingdom. Shudras were artisan, craftsmen, people, workers or servants. So this is how Varna system was there. Clear? So remember this thing, how Varna is different from Jati. So let me tell you, this Varna system is actually theoretical in nature. It is theoretical, based on birth. But jati or caste, it is the practicality. It is practical in nature. Clear? Practical in nature, based on occupational community. Occupational community. Fine. So we need to understand these things, that these development took place in this period. Clear? So as you can see here, gradually you'll see that jati system became more rigid. Clear? Even it was very important during British rule also. Clear? So this varna and jati has become the cultural tradition of India. Clear? This has become the culture of India. Fine. Okay. Now, next important paragraph in this chapter is developments elsewhere in India. Now, development elsewhere in India. Now, we need to understand this chapter is something which is related to the different regions in India: north, east, west, south. Fine. Okay. So, developments elsewhere in India. First, how development took place. Clear? So, in this first millennium BC, important communication routes opened up for the purpose of trade. That means first, this paragraph under development is related to the trade routes. It is related to trade routes and connectivity. Fine. It is related to trade routes and connectivity. So there were two major trade routes. Clear, as you can see on your screen also. Let me show you here. So I have highlighted here with green pen. So two routes became widely used. Clear. Now they are mentioned in the literature also. Uttar Path. Uttar Path means northern path. Northern path, and second Dakshina Path is the southern path. It is the southern path. Clear? ठीक है. When we say Uttar Path is Uttar Path connected northwest region. That means Indus region to Ganga plains. So you can say Uttar Path is something from Gandhara region in Afghanistan till Patliputra in Magadha. Clear? That means all way to eastern India. Clear? Second route is Dakshinapath from Kaushambi near Prayagraj, UP. Dakshinapath from Kaushambi near Prayagraj or Allahabad, UP. Clear? To the Vatsa. So let me tell you. So as you can see here. So from north Prayagraj, which was the capital of Vatsa, clear, and it was till Vindhya range. That means these way towards South India. So Dakshina Path was from north towards the South India. That is called as Dakshina Path. Clear, everyone? Okay. So this actually Dakshina Path proceed all way to South India. Clear? So in this way, Dakshina Path and Northern Path, they actually linked North and South India. Fine? Okay. Now, apart from this, so as you can see here, this paragraph, this is something which is related to the Eastern and Western developments. Okay. So, and also this is something which is related to other roads in India apart from Dakshina Path and Uttar Path. So many lateral roads also connected with other parts of India. It actually links. So these lateral roads connected the important ports on the western coast as well as eastern coast. Western coast important port was Bharuch, present day in Gujarat. Clear. Eastern coast, important eastern coast was Tamrlipti, present day Bengal area. Clear? Remember this. So these were the vibrant centers of trade. Then apart from this, as you can see here, second eastern region major cities emerged as Shishupalgarh. Eastern region, in eastern region major cities emerged like Shishupalgarh today, part of Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Clear? Shishupalgarh, which was the capital of Kalinga region, present day Odisha only. Clear? And they have actually, now try to understand, they have followed strict square ground plan and imposing fortification, and broad streets used to be there. Now, with respect to Shishupalgarh, Shishupalgarh was the major city. It was the major city of eastern region. Major city of eastern region. When it was excavated, it was first excavated in 1948. Remember this thing, it was excavated in 1948. That means in 1948 we came to know about Shishupalgarh, that it used to be a great urban center in ancient India. Clear? So this city was created on the basis of strict square ground plan, imposing fortifications are there, broad streets are there, then narrow gateways were also there to control. Fine? Okay. Then this paragraph, as you can see here, now, as you can see, this paragraph is related to the southern developments which emerged from 400 BC. Now in subcontinent southern region, cities began emerging. That means in South India, cities emerged from 400 BC. Remember this thing. In South India, cities emerged from 400 BC. Fine. That means cities began emerging from 400 BC, and recent excavations also suggest or also give the evidence of commercial activities in this period. Clear? And it is said that three major kingdoms used to be there in south in early ancient India. And what were those three major kingdoms? It is written here: early Cholas in northern Tamil Nadu, Cheras in Kerala, Pandyas in southern Tamil Nadu. Fine. These were the major things. Now, what are the evidences of these cities? So, let me tell you. So, as you can see here, so see these pictures. So, first evidence. So, what are the evidences here for these cities? So, evidences. First evidence: archaeological excavations. Archaeological excavations. Fine. And second, ancient Tamil literature. Ancient Tamil literature. Fine. Clear? Tamil literature means Sangam literature, which mention these three kingdoms also. Okay, so let me show you the paragraphs here related to these things. So as you can see, apart from archaeological evidences, the most ancient Tamil literature mentions these three kingdoms and several their kings, which is also called as Sangam literature. Called as Sangam literature, which means from 400 BC, when cities got emerged, Sangam age was also started in South India. Fine. Okay. Then this paragraph is related to the economic importance. Economic importance. Now, how economic importance? Southern regions are rich in resources like precious and semi-precious stones. They are rich in gold as well as spices. Fine. Now, they are also profitable with the trade. They are profitable with the trade, not only with the rest of India, but also with kingdoms and empires overseas. That means they used to do trade and commerce not only with the rest part of India, also with the Roman Empire, also with the Egypt in ancient times. That is the economic importance of this river. Clear? Then another, so I would like to show you that picture. So as you can see here, this picture, that we have seen. So it is written here: shells and gemstone industries at the site of Kodumanai River in Tamil Nadu. Clear? So as you can see here, this, okay, Kodumanal. This is Kodumanal near Tamil Nadu. Clear? Near Erode, Tamil Nadu. So here shells and gems industries used to be there in ancient time. This actually gives us the evidence of sophisticated craft production in ancient times, and also the long distance trade network. Fine. So this is something which is very important. Now, so overall, we can say that it was a grand synthesis, interconnected subcontinent, clear, from around 300 to 200 BC. Almost entire subcontinent, including the regions in northeast, was one vibrant interconnected land. That means by 200 BC, we can say India got interconnected with each other. So almost entire Indian subcontinent got connected in this period. Second important thing, it also included the regions of northeast tribal areas. Third important, one vibrant, which means in India became interconnected land. So by 200 BC, India became interconnected land. Interconnected land. Clear? And there also used to be the exchange network or trade networks. Clear? So goods actually traveled, goods and culture traveled from region to region. Clear? culture and ideas are also disseminated through trade and commerce. Then it was not only related to India, it is related to part of Central as well as Southeast Asia. In this way, we can say that how ancient religions, Buddhism, got spread outside India, in Central Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, everywhere. And Buddhism became, through trade and commerce only, Buddhism became global in nature. Clear? So remember this thing, trade routes used to be there, movements of people used to be there. Third important thing, dissemination of teachings. The teachings of Buddha and Mahavira also traveled outside India because of trade and commerce. Then cultural synthesis was there, as well as economic interdependence was there. And this last paragraph is also related to the end of Mahajanpad era. End of Mahajanpad era. Now, why end of Mahajanpad era? Because around 300 to 200 BC, 300 to 200 BC. Remember this thing, Mahajanpadas ceased to exist. Clear? Now, if Mahajanpadas ceased to exist, clear? So, this resulted into a fresh development that is going to reshape India. That means now again the transition of new developments took place, and when Mahajanpadas are ceased to exist, it resulted into the formation of large empire which is called as Mauryan Empire. Mauryan Empire, which captures from Himalayas till Karnataka, Afghanistan to Bangladesh. So Mahajanpadas ceased to exist, and it resulted into the formation of larger empires in India. Example, Mauryan Empire. This much is clear to all of you. Fine. So this is something which is very important for your examination. So these are the basic things. Now, so this is about this chapter. Now, first important thing that I will write down here, that why it is important for your examination. You know? So try to understand, see, why it is important for UPSC. Why important for UPSC? First important thing, it tells us about governance and political system. Governance and political system. Second, it talks about social organization like Varna and Jati Pratha. Third, it talks about economic development. Fine. Then it talks about urban planning and architecture also. Then it talks about technological innovation. Clear? Then it talks about the cultural developments. Fine. It also talks about the cultural developments. Then regional development. Regional development, like culture developed in South India, Sangam culture. Fine. Now, remember this thing, if you see these things are not only important for your history, also related to various other subjects. That is why this chapter is important for your examination. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. Okay, so this is something which is related to your most of the other subjects like Indian society and other things. Clear? So this chapter has created a wonderful base not only for history, also for the polity as well as Indian society. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to all of you. Okay, so try to make your own notes after watching this video, and if you have any doubt, you can write it down in the comment section. Okay, I'll just clear all the doubts. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.